Going live. So we are live. What's that? Why is LinkedIn broadcast had ended? Copy link to video. What is happening? Trying to go live on LinkedIn. Let's see if we can fix this. Video, go live. Alright, pick a region. Go live now. Okay, that's the problem, I think. Return to live. Excellent, we are here. Matthias, hey. Graham, hello from Ireland. Okay, so now we are live on Facebook, we are live on LinkedIn, and we are live on YouTube. If you have questions, post them in the comments, please. I'm just typing something here. Hi, we are live. So to see if we can actually get the comments here. So yeah, Achim is joining us today.
Hi, Oliver.
Hi. So before I switch to you, let me just do the introduction quickly, because I just had to do some live going stuff here and check if we are live on Facebook, if we are live on YouTube, and if we are live on LinkedIn, and we seem to be live on all of those. Very nice. Let's turn off the sound here so we're not distracted. Where are the comments? Here are the comments in Facebook. There's no comments yet. I hope there will be soon. I don't see how many people are watching or not. I have no idea. One share. Okay, so YouTube, Google, don't need that window. LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, we seem to have the most watchers on LinkedIn, which is excellent. All right, welcome everyone. This is the mimoLive Workbench Session. It's a format formerly known as mimoLive Shop Talk. The purpose of this is that you can watch us learn. We are doing new things, we're testing stuff, and hopefully something great comes out of it, and something we can have in the next version of mimoLive. So first order of business today is we have Achim, and if you remember, a couple of months ago we had a live stream testing out if we can map someone on follow someone on the map, and we did that with I think I should start over so we can make a cut here. All right, good, let's start over here. So if you remember a stream from a couple of months ago, we did a test putting someone on a map and following them, for example, in a road race with bicycle race or something like that. So we tested WhatsApp, we tested Apple's Find My, and basically found out that they are updating only every 15 to 30 seconds. And that is far too slow to follow someone on a map. So we decided to add this functionality to mimoCall. So how this works is Achim is on the road with his bicycle. Achim, where are you? Somewhere where we can already see you on the map, or is that where are you?
Yeah, you should be able to see me on the map already.
So let's bring this up. We can have Achim. Let me see if we can have this. So we have here a mimoLive document which has a mimoCall that Achim has been using. I should hide the ID here, and we'll see that we don't see anything yet because we have to turn this live, and then Achim is going to be mapped so we see where he is. We can I can.
Yes.
So let me just solo the playground and show you a little bit what we have here. We have the new map source and we have a mimo call. And if we click on the preview here, we see we can select the mimo call as the data source for this map, and then we can just create a satellite map or use the standards map, which also gives you the names of the streets. We can switch between light and dark, and we can have a hybrid view with both maps and street names. And we can have a muted standard view, which means that probably there's not as much detail. Maybe you need to figure out which one is the one that you want. And we can select a pin or a compass, and the compass is showing north. Achim, is the compass already updating for the direction you're facing to?
Actually, it will update once I move, I guess.
Okay.
It looks like that the browser on the iPhone is only showing the direction if it's moving.
Okay. So we'll try the compass type, and we can set a color and of course a size for this. And now, Achim, let's get moving and we'll see
I try
if we can follow you on the map. And yes, we can, and it's moving quite should I say it's of course not moving fluently yet because we didn't interpolate the movement yet, but you see it's updating every second or so, and that enables you to quite closely track people. And we will hopefully add for the future, Achim has the plan to add for the future that we smooth the movement, so we calculate a in-between animation, and so that the movement becomes more smoothly. But this is excellent.
And you should be able to see my direction right now.
Yeah, the direction is also, now the compass shows the direction. So once you're moving, it's showing the direction. Achim wearing a helmet as he's supposed to. So now we're already getting some, of course, interferences from not so good connection. Achim, one phone lost the connection, but the other phone with the experimental mimo call client did not. So we can still see where he's going. We don't see him anymore, and don't hear him. So, and he doesn't hear us as probably. Or do you hear us, Achim? I don't think so, because it says waiting for partner. What I think happened is that his phone went into sleep mode. So that's something we might have to see if we can fix that for the future. So now the either he stopped and is trying to reconnect. So he's reconnecting.
Of course, the battery drained.
Oh, the batteries. It was the battery. Okay.
Yeah, the battery drained on the phone. So
so fast. I thought you had like 15% left or something.
So never use the phone of your child to do a demo.
Yeah, exactly. All right, but we saw that this works quite well, and we keep working on this feature, and Achim is going to return to the studio now, I think, so we can start looking at other cool things. I'll just stop this one. And
okay, see you in a minute.
We'll talk about other things while you're done. You're gone. See you soon.
See you.
All right. So maybe we have some questions. Jan Florian on LinkedIn says, "Moin, modern look." Yes, modern look. This is the format where we have 2 outputs. I've this afternoon I've switched over to using 2 computers, so the setup is slightly different from last time. We have now here the playground where I can show you a document and play around with the document, and here is what the document will output, so you can see what the mimoLive document is generating if we need that. I can of course also make it bigger and focus on the playground by turning on solo playground, which isn't working right now. Why isn't it working? Because I'm using the wrong button. Well, this is the solo playground, and I can solo the output as well, and myself, and I can bring Achim back when he is connected again from his office where he is going now. So 2 other things we're going to talk about today. One is I'm going to show you, and Achim and I are talking about some major progress we've made in the beta regarding color management, and we will show you also a way to test this and how we found it and how we are working on finding if more of this work is there, if we can fix more color issues, and if we can get even better with the color. And the other thing is we're going to talk about is some new things that makes your life easier when you have to change a lot of settings. So imagine you have like 50 lower thirds where you typed in all the names and the titles of the people, and then someone comes along and says this is the wrong font and the wrong color and it should be in a different position on the screen. So how do you quickly propagate all the new parameters to the other layer variations? So okay, let's see if we have any questions. I think so far I didn't see any questions. I see just some well-meant comments on LinkedIn. Emerson is on YouTube, and I am again quite baffled why we don't see any comments from YouTube. We used to be able to see every time some other thing in YouTube or Facebook doesn't work. Today we found out that Facebook login isn't working. I hope this is a temporary issue, maybe something to do with Facebook uploading a new version of Facebook or something like that, or rolling that out. I'm not sure. I hope that this is not something broken in the 6.1b1. We have to look at this. And also, let me see if I can add a comment source and see if the comments come in. Social media source. See if the comments come in then. Yes, they do, which is interesting. So I can just bring in all right, I would like to know the basic specification to have with 15 people in Mimo call if the program collapses. So I assume that means you want to know how big your computer has to be able to handle 15 Mimo calls. We had one customer do that on a pretty beefed up iMac Pro once with a lot of processors. So they had 15 calls, but I must say, if you have 15 people on the Mimo calls, then you should think about maybe you need a video conferencing application instead of what mimoLive does, because I don't think you can have a panel with 15 people on that. So maybe consider some other solution to that. It's just a hunch. Maybe you have a legitimate need for 15 callers. Sometimes that is the case. If you don't need all 15 at the same time, you can you can have 15 calls, but ask them to call at different times. If the call is not on screen, then you won't have a lot of system load. So that might help also. And if that helps, then let me know if that was what you wanted to know. Emre says hi. So okay, I have a Mac Mini and produce a recorded show on Wednesdays. I think with the Mac Mini you should be able to handle maybe like 4 or 5 calls, not more, because every call needs video encoding and decoding, and there's a limit to what the Mac Mini has in hardware, and after it uses the hardware, it switches to software encoding, and that can't handle like 15 streams at the same time, coming in and going out. Every stream needs a separate encoding for the return stream and one decoding for the incoming stream, so that is where you will be limited. And I think you should be able to expect like 4 or 5 calls on a Mac Mini. All right, so let's see if we have some comments on Facebook. Okay, Roberto.
Hi there, I'm back.
Robert Tango. Achim is back, so we can switch back to the view where you can see both of us. Oh yeah, you got you did some sport. Wesley Willis from Hello from Atlanta on Facebook. So today we are not very good at bringing in the comments. We only can get the comments from YouTube, and also Achim, I had to add a social media source to get the comments. So something is not working again on the comment side. I think in the 611b1 there's a lot of stuff missing, that maybe we merged the wrong version or something. So we have to take a look at that, because we have experienced a lot of regressions. So okay, let's talk about collars. So we were looking for a way to test the collars, and I think I should be able to open the document, and I will open it first in, if I can find the mouse here. Okay, so I will open it first in 6.1.1 and do a full screen play out here so you can see what's going on. So let's solo this here. Okay, so what you can see here is we have a video output test layer in the bottom of the layer stack, and on top of that we place a placer that is slightly inset to the background, and we basically generate a loop. So we have an output here. On the output side, we have, for example, we start with the siphon output, siphon sender output. So the siphon sender output is on top of this. It sends out the stack layers below, and we have a siphon receiver here, and in the sources, and it shows you the result from basically the input. So we have a loop here from which if we use this placer to display the siphon input, then we will have a feedback loop, and since it's inset a little bit, what happens is I turn this on, and you see that we see generationally degraded video. So any changes in video from going through the loop once is amplified here. So we see that the colors basically stay the same, but they get a lot brighter every time we work through the loop. And so this happens because we weren't using a color profile with the frames, and so we added the color profile now with and I don't know, let's have that open. Can have both open at the same time. So let's look at what that happens in the mimoLive 611 with this. Turn it off, make it full screen. So no, that's not what I wanted. Come on, just zoom. Yeah. I'm trying to type on the wrong keyboard again. So now we have let's do that full screen output. So we'll see. Let's switch back. So we'll see on the right hand side, we see Achim, we see myself twice, so I turn that off, and we see the document and the output. And when I turn on the feedback loop in 611, what you see is that basically the color and the brightness stay the same perfectly. So we've basically removed the color problem from all the stages inside mimoLive, in the places in the layer stack, in the output and in the input. And so now we can go through all the different output and input methods and see what's happening there. For example, switch back.
If you add a filter, for example.
Yeah, let me just do the test with NDI. So here we have an NDI output. We can basically, let's turn that off so that we get the clean video output. So we have an NDI output. We can get that NDI output in again. I think it should be this source. So when I select that here, I will see basically the output coming in again. If I turn that on, you see that we have not only brightness change, but also a slight discoloration, which propagates through the various generations. So if we look at the same thing,
and this is the current 6.1 release version.
That's the 6.1 release, and now we look at the same thing in the 6.1.1. I think I should turn this off here just to make sure that I'm not overloading this machine. So we add a, do we have an NDI output
switch
here?
off
yes,
the NDI source.
Yep, we need to NDI out and select the NDI then here. Should be this one now. If we turn that on, you see it's working pretty quick. Okay, I should have selected the NDI source, because that's we'll see that there is still some things to do. What's happening here? Why is it not getting more frames? Because the other one is interfering. Well, that's off. Let's just close that. And look at this from.
I guess you need to reselect the NDI source.
It's not showing up anymore. Let's turn it off. Maybe you should rename it so that it doesn't think it's the same. It's getting confused, so let's quit. Oops. This is the wrong keyboard, and you shouldn't hit quit on the wrong keyboard, I can tell you that. So let's turn this off. Don't save. Let's turn the other off. So start again. Open the color test feedback loop 2. Now we need enter full soon. So NDI. Do we have an NDI? We don't. No, we have NDI here. Turn off the feedback loop so we get a clean signal. Turn on NDI. We use the device, capture NDI input, select NDI here. And now we have the same thing. And you see that we fixed basically the brightness problem. So it doesn't get brighter anymore. But there's a slight discoloration there. And the issue with that is that we do not know what color profile NDI is using, correct? We have to still investigate what's going on here. Maybe we just didn't fix the output destination. The input destination maybe did work correctly, and the output destination is still doing a slight, maybe we need to add. I think we stopped there and we thought about adding the YCBCR conversion to RGB conversion, and the vice versa RGBA to YCBCR. And right now we're giving the RGB frame to NDI, and NDI makes the conversion, but maybe we have to make the conversion before that and give the YCBCR frame to NDI, because on the input side we also got a YCBCR frame from NDI and had to convert it to RGB using the macOS conversion, which worked much better than
yeah, you may be right, because it's possible that NDI implemented their own conversion from RGB to YCBCR, and this may be slightly different in the math than what Apple did. And however, you can see that in the first generation of the feedback loop, there's almost no change. So the change is really very, very small. Right.
Yeah, we can.
It's a big improvement, anyways.
Yeah, it's already a big improvement over the one I showed you before. So we have one cool test I can show you where we didn't work on changes yet. So we can still show you these, and that's the FFmpeg RTMP output and input loop, where we still can do some work. Live streaming. So let me see if I have the correct. Okay, I think. Let me see if I can select that.
So I think what you're going to set up is an FFmpeg source on the left-hand side to be a streaming server, and it is able to receive RTMP streamings, and using on the right-hand side a streaming output destination to stream exactly to this streaming server. So this gives us the feedback loop, and here
and
we
you
go.
can see there's still a lot to do in this case. Yes, so we wanted to show you this so you can see how we learn things and how we can test if stuff works or not. And I think this is a pretty interesting. Let me just make sure that we have the beta 1. So the beta 1, not all the work is completed yet, but it will be soon. And we will spend the rest of this week to get this done. All right. So Achim, now we are.
So you basically can show the filters works as well.
Oh, so, yeah. Okay. So I can show the 6.1. One of the things. Let me see. It has to be. Where is it? I have to. Yeah, you explain it, and I'm looking for the test for the document.
Sure. So we got the complaint from customers that if you add, for example, the color correction filter, then by just adding the filter itself, the color gets changed without any changes to the filter itself. So the filter should by default do nothing. And yeah, we also fixed this, and Oliver is trying to show you this. So if you have mimoLive 6.1 and you add, you use, for example, the test output, the video output test source.
Yeah, I have to add that video output test. So.
And I guess I don't know if how do you try to show this right now?
You can already see a difference between the video output test layer here and the source, which we use and then we can also, of course, we can add another output test source, and we can then make it appear here, and then we can add a filter. For example, let's add what do we add?
The color correction filter. That would be the best
filter,
because by default it should do nothing.
Yeah, and
now we are comparing.
Yeah.
So now we are comparing.
This is the video output test source with the color correction filter applied. This is the whoops. Okay, so I think I did the wrong one. So, yeah. Okay. So this is the one with the filter applied. This is the one. This is the one without the filter applied. And this is
so you switch on and off the top one.
Yeah.
Switch. Excuse me, Oliver. Switch on the second one. The second layer. That's the important one.
Yes.
That's the source. How it came in.
Yeah.
As it's wrong already, but this is how it comes in. And if you switch on and off the top layer, then this is how the filter is applied. But the filter is said to be don't change the colors, but still it somehow worked on the colors, so that isn't a good thing. And if you may save this document and open it up in mimoLive 6.1 beta. So now you can see that basically nothing happens if Oliver switches on and off the layers. So even the bottom layer, that is the test layer itself, but also the two layers on top, the placer layers, are showing the video test sources and one with a filter and no color changes at all. So we think this is a great improvement in the video pipeline.
Yeah, absolutely excellent. So, all right. So, do we have any more questions? DJ Benny, what computer are you using to do the test? So I have one MacBook Pro here for the stream. It's a MacBook Pro M1 Max, and then I have a second computer which is a Mac Mini M1 to do the test, and they talk to each other. But they don't talk to each other, of course, but I'm capturing the internal screen with a Magewell device that allows me to loop through the HDMI output. So the main display, I have a separate display to the side here, and I can capture that on the playground output. And the output for the output from playground window, I have a secondary monitor going into a Blackmagic Design Ultra Studio 4K to capture. So we get basically one capture through Blackmagic and one capture through NDI. And I have one computer to play around with and one computer doing the stream.
And while in development, we are using a variety of hardware combined with a variety of macOS versions. So, for example, we are running an iMac 5K Intel machine with macOS 10.15 called Catalina. We are running a MacBook Pro with Catalina to make sure everything is backward compatible with Catalina. And then Oliver mentioned already the M1 machines like a Mac Mini and the MacBook Pro Max running the latest macOS and even macOS Ventura in the upcoming version in the beta state to make sure that everything works here as well.
Yeah, so good. DJ Benny also says I'm a telecommunications technician and I give streaming support to some multimedia companies I work with. That's excellent, and I hope mimoLive will be in your arsenal, and because it's a great tool, of course. And yeah. All right, and Judah says, "What's up, guys? We are doing good. Hi there. Let's see if we have more comments on the other platforms. Mark Litz joined us on Facebook. Hello from Germany. Marnix Kusemaker from Holland. And he asks, with or without the color correction filter, the program recording move provides even more brightness. Hope you can check that. Yeah, that's of course one of the things that we will be checking. We had a breakthrough the week before last, and then we wanted to get you guys the chance to look at it as soon as possible. So we hurried a beta out of the door before Achim went on holiday, and I think some things went wrong there, but we have to check that, and hopefully this week or next week we'll do a new beta with even more fixes, and hopefully all the regressions gone. If they are regressions, we have to check that and see what's going on. LinkedIn, let's see what's going on LinkedIn. Jan Florian Mars, there's a 12-second delay between YouTube and LinkedIn stream on my side. Yeah, we have super low we have low latency on YouTube, we have low latency on Facebook, there's no low latency setting on LinkedIn, so the LinkedIn stream is quite delayed. Paul Wood, hello from Oklahoma. Hi to Oklahoma, hi to Paul.
Yeah, that's actually something you need to consider when you're doing live streaming, that actually the service you're using is taking some time to re-encode your video, to distribute it all over the world. And in case of YouTube, this took them about 20 to 30 seconds in the beginning of live streaming. Now they are down to, I think, 10 seconds or 15 seconds for the default setup. And if you select, what's the option exactly
There's
called?
low latency and ultra low latency. And
Ultra low latency, so they get down to 2 or 3 seconds of delay, which is really incredible. Yeah. Take this in account. So if you try to do a response by your audience and you're doing a live stream to, let's say, Facebook, expect the answers of your audio at least in 10 to 50 seconds delay.
Yeah, so Graham Mulcahy, I hope I'm not botching your name too much here, asked, have you any plans to add some gaming like bingo, quizzes, etc.? We have been working on a Ferris wheel. No, what's that? Not Ferris wheel. What's the
Wheel of Fortune?
Wheel of Fortune there, and hopefully when we get the color stuff done and all the other problems fixed, we can get back to that.
So this will be a customizable Wheel of Fortune, and
I don't have it installed here. I just checked, and so we could give you a preview, but it's pretty nice. And Morganaut says, hi Oliver, nice to see you again, and that you still continue improving your great app. Keep going. Yeah, we
Thank you very much.
We try to make it good enough for you in the end. So thanks for checking in, and let me know what else we need to fix. And we have DJ Benny. I have many ideas with the camera that you use a lot, which is the Mivo. Being able to create Mimo call to configure the cameras was a success because that is how we would handle the cameras remotely. I'm not sure what you mean exactly, how you do this, how this is all set up. I like the Mivo cameras. I don't use one now, but we use them pretty much if we go into the field doing anything, because they're very easy to set up, very small, lightweight, needs only one cable, and you can hardwire them, and which is something I always recommend, is running a cable to your cameras. But if you use NDI cameras, that's only one cable for power, data, and anything else. And so that's a pretty good computer, pretty good camera. And the Mivo is actually an ePTC camera, which means that using NDI you can zoom in and then pan and zoom around the camera image. You are losing some resolution because it's only a 1080p camera, but that's still a good thing. All right, guys, this is fun. Thank you for all the questions. Keep them coming. We will get back to your questions after the next part here, which is the super copy paste feature, which is very interesting to power users and also to non-power users. And Achim, do you want to give me instructions what I should do and show here on my second computer?
Yes. So the idea is that you have multiple layer variants. So variants is one technique to have one layer, but different variants of it. Usually we use it in the case of a lower third, for example. So you don't want to have multiple lower thirds at the same time on your screen, on your output. So you create multiple variants of the same layer, add different names to them, and then if you switch on one variant after the other, one variant will switch off the other variant automatically, so you don't have multiple lower thirds on the screen at the same time. So Oliver, go ahead and add a lower third for me. So that's in the layer stack. You can search for lower third and just use the topmost. That's the default one. And it already shows a animation and the name. So Oliver, go ahead and rename that for Oliver, for example, or you're going to add multiple variants of it. That's done with the plus button in the parameter stack below the preview. Now he is going to rename some of those lower thirds to demonstrate that you prepare them before your show is starting. So you just have to click one button to fire the lower third with the right name. Unfortunately, if you are in the middle of the design of your lower thirds, or you're entering the names, someone hand you in the design specs for your lower thirds, and you need to change all the lower thirds again, because each of the variants have their own parameters. That's true for the graphics, for the fonts, for the colors. Usually this is very handy, so you can create different looking layers and variants for different purposes. In the case of the lower third, this is not a good idea, or this comes in the way once you want to change a layout of the lower third. So now Oliver has prepared all the lower thirds with the names, and for example, he wants to change the font of the lower third and the color, because the default font name font's face and the color isn't appealing. So he looks for the font setup in the parameter stack of the selected first lower third. So he found it, and you can change the color here with the color selector. You see immediately also in the preview that the color has changed, and also with the color for the font chooser, you can switch to different fonts, of course, and search for a nice one if you know them.
What is the name of the font you shouldn't ever use?
Zapfino.
Zapfino. So
don't use Zapfino for the demo.
Okay, so let's do something else.
They have installed Dux or some. It doesn't matter actually. Use Courier or typewriter to really make a difference, to see that this is different to all the others. So
okay, yeah. So let's make
okay, so we now have changed the font and the color of the name of the title. But if you switch to the next layer variant, for example, then you will see that this change only applied to the first one. So what you can do is you can right-click on the section with the appearance. You right-click on it here, you click on copy attributes, and then you can paste them, and you have two options. You can paste them to all variants at once, or you can go to a specific layer variant and only paste it here, depending on what you want to do. In our case, we want to paste it to all variants at once. So you should see that all the layer variants have now changed, and interestingly, only the font names has changed, right? But not the color. What is didn't work at all?
No, yes, the color didn't change.
So the name of the font worked, but the color didn't work.
Yeah, so that's a bug.
Okay, so noted. So the idea behind this is to update all the variants at once for a complete section of changes.
Yeah, for example, we don't want a logo, and we want to move the text over here, for example. And
so those parameters are located in two different groups. So you need to copy and paste the different groups.
So I need to copy background animation because I didn't want I need to...
Oh, you need to copy the geometry and the logo.
Geometry. Let's copy geometry and paste geometry. And so that should give us all changes to the geometry. It didn't work with the moving down.
The logo is a separate.
Okay. So the logo.
You need to select the first one.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do the logo. And where's the logo? There's no logo anymore down here. Where is that? Why is it not? I just hid it. Okay, copy logo attributes, copy it to paste it to all variants. So we don't have a logo anymore, but we still have also the wrong top and bottom position. Do we have to fix that as well, or is that a different?
Yeah, so this is quite tedious, right? So let's use it as a power user.
Okay, let's do that.
So the power user would actually go to the layer stack, copy, also right click on the layer and copy the layer attributes. Now you could paste them also to the complete layer stack, but this will, or the complete layer variants, but this will also override the names and the subtitles you already put in because all parameters are copied. So now you can go to a text editor actually. Oliver is using BBEdit. That's the favorite editor for that. And you see all the parameters are listed in an XML format. So you can go through it and remove, change, or the parameters you want to change or not to be copied. So you find the subtitle and the title, and you need to remove the key and the string line. So Oliver is removing them at once. So for the title and for the subtitle. Now you need to select the complete text and copy it again to the clipboard. And now you can paste that to the layer variants again. And this will change all the parameters for all the layers, interestingly, including the colors now. So yeah, this
I feel very powerful.
Yeah, this gives you a lot of power to update lower thirds, multiple lower thirds variants at once.
Yeah, but not only lower thirds, but any layers that have lots of variants and where the design department comes in at the last moment and says, this is all nice and dandy, but we need the color in orange instead of blue. Then you can go and change that very quickly.
Yeah, and since this is just an XML text basically in the clipboard, you can copy and paste between documents as well, or different layer parts with different layer variants. So if you have an old document, you can copy the design from there to the next document without changing or copying the complete layer. It's just for the data.
Awesome. I think this is a very good new feature that's also in the 6. Is it already in the 6.1? I think so, yeah. And but we fixed in 6.1.1b1. We fixed an error that comes from the newer operating systems not converting that to
an ASCII
JSON XML file, but to a binary XML file, which didn't work when you pasted it to the editor, to the text editor. And you can't also change anything in the binary file, so we had to fix that for the 6.1.1b1. All right, let me just close this document here. And should I save it? No, I don't save it.
Or just wait if you have any questions.
Yeah, we can answer questions. We should add a layout where we don't see any of the playground, so we can focus on answering questions instead of looking at the screen here. Yeah, well, anyway, so let's see if we have any more questions. We have...
so, Oliver, didn't we have such a layout for the intro, for example? That was just showing us
I don't see
and
it.
running the new scroller at the bottom.
No, that was the other show of him. That was the other show. We don't have that here. We should edit. Maybe we can just edit while we're talking. Just do a split screen on top of everything. Maybe not on top, maybe below this one. What is this doing here? I don't know. We can remove that. No, we don't remove that. We put it here. So we have a split screen, 2 and 1. Just quickly put that in here. Oliver and Achim. We need to once this is done, we need to be working on that a little more. Background none, and then we have to turn off all the other stuff in the background. We should move that maybe here. So split screen, turn that off, and so now we have a nice layout without distraction. We'll have to fine-tune that for the future, because now we have also the comments isn't working. Okay, so DJ Benny wants to convert Mimo calls into RTMP links. Basically, yes, you can have an incoming call and then send it out to a streaming destination if you want to. I don't know if you can do more than 2 or 3 of those on your Mac Mini, but yeah, just try it and you can see what happens. That gives us an advantage to have different cameras in another country and be able to get audio and video in real time. Yes, that's the idea behind mimoCall, is be able to have a camera in a different country or a few hundred miles away or on the other side of the world or on a drone or whatever. And yeah, that's what this is about. Margonaut.
So Oliver and me, we are even that we're in the same country, but we are, let's say, 200 kilometers apart. So works quite nice.
Yeah. So Morgonaut. How far are you implementing with the ISO recording feature of the incoming source video in the original format, no matter what's the current mimoLive project settings? We have put that on the back burner for now because of the color things we're working on. But this is definitely on our feature list for the future. And I know that you like that feature very much, so we will keep that on the radar. As basically we now have to look at the recording also for the color issue, so maybe we can fix that while we're there. I don't know. Let's see what happens. All right. Mark Lix, that says cool. I don't know exactly which of the things we showed you are cool, but thanks anyway. All of the things are cool. All of the things. We have some more comments on LinkedIn. Andrew Quinn says we have the one-button studio in mimoLive. Yes, that is an excellent thing. Thank you very much. This is something we developed together with DVE Store for the US market, and in the European area you can get it from One Click Studio company, and it's basically a pre-built recording live streaming studio that you can install and operate with basically just one click.
And the user don't need to learn mimoLive to operate it.
Everything is just a few buttons, and the whole complexity.
All is automated.
Yeah.
It will save the recording to a USB stick the user brings with it, and so once the file is on the USB stick, they can remove it and carry it on.
All right. Andrew Quinn, another question. Hey, will you all be at NAB next year? I was there. Many people loved what I showed them. Yes. It's a hit and miss with NAB this year, and the last 2 years obviously wasn't a good time. Maybe next year. Let's see what happens with the pandemic and pricing for the NAB exhibition and things like that. Maybe we can meet at the NAB next year. Andrew Quinn, getting ready to use this LinkedIn as well. Also trying to build the mimoLive box. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I love it. Andrew, we should connect on LinkedIn. I see we are just third grade connections. So yeah, let's see if we have more comments on Facebook. I know that we have one or two on YouTube we can get to. Yeah. So Johannes says, nice quick layout. Also, he's sorry that he's late. Johannes, you have the inside track to us. You don't have to watch this boring video stream. No, it's not a boring video stream. I think it's a quite good video stream this time. We certainly with more preparation for the official release stream, we will be more concise and more focused, but I love this kind of, let's go and see what works and what doesn't, and we'll find some problems. We don't find any other problems, and we are happy to see what works and what doesn't. I'm very happy to see today that the maps feature works better than the WhatsApp and Find My workaround we did last time, but we still can improve, of course, and we will do that. And also the color did work quite well. Also, that is very exciting. Big advances for mimoLive in that area. And the copy paste layer attributes. I hope every one of you should be able to use and have some benefit from. Johannes, no, I love your stream. Yes, thank you very much. There is another comment from Morganaut. Let's see if I can bring it up, if I find the correct mouse to press to. Let's see what that says. Do you want some bug news? I noticed if I add color correction on top of my decklink source, it will dramatically increase time to render frame from few milliseconds to 30 or more, which will become unusable. These are the kinds of problems we still have to dig into. Thank you for mentioning that to us, and of course we will try that and check if we can see if we can reproduce that.
Certainly the filter will add a delay to your source.
Yeah, Achim, but not 30 milliseconds. That's
30 milliseconds seems quite much.
Yeah.
It depends on the dimension of this. No, actually 30 milliseconds. That's about a frame.
We'll take that and see how that works, and yeah, and how we
30 milliseconds is just a frame, so that's not too much actually. So maybe we need to see the numbers, the correct numbers.
Yes, I think we should dig into that. So Margonaut says, if I compare color correction filter in mimoLive and OBS, it's quite a huge difference. In OBS it will be add maybe 2 milliseconds, and so that is a valid concern. We have to see what we can improve there. Okay, good. All right, no more comments. I think we are almost done. Achim, what do you think?
If there are no more questions.
I'm sure there will be once we stop. But I think we've covered every question. A lot of comments on YouTube. And yeah, all right. Yeah, so thank you everyone for your comments, for joining today's stream. I hope you liked it. We did some cool testing here. I can report that my internet connection can handle 3 streams. One went to Facebook, one to YouTube, one to LinkedIn. We'll see what the numbers are and where we focus our streams.
And it actually sent a stream to my computer as well as receiving one.
And did a local recording. And so, yeah, lots of stuff happening at the same time. And yeah. All right. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thank you, Achim, for joining me today. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. And we will be doing this again, hopefully soon. And we will be learning and growing and making it better all the time. See you guys. Talk to you next time. Bye.